Aren't you glad you're learning about science now?
Yes.
Connects the dots, right? So let's talk about the law of attraction, shall we? You know, Abraham and Esther Hicks, The Secret. These are all, you know, I love these movies. Even I remember the first time I was sitting in the movie theater watching What the Bleep Do We Know? What year was that? It seems like that was just last year, but I mean, that's like 2004. That was 10 years ago. And I was in there with my girlfriend at the time, and they did that whole in the subway with the Dr. Emoto's water, and she looks at me and she goes, "That's what you do." And I was like, that is what I do. And it's on the silver screen. Nothing is ever going to be the same again. And that was the first movie that when the movie was over, nobody moved. And everybody turned to their neighbor and started talking to everybody. It was bizarre. It's the only movie that's ever experienced. So there's been this revolution of change with all this. So when we talk about the law of attraction is real. It's just the same as the law of gravity. So if you want to know how good your law of attraction is working for you, just simply look at your life. Do you like what's in your life? Do you don't like what's in your life? And if you don't like what's in your life in some areas, then how do we change the law of attraction? And let's kind of get into the details. Essentially, the law of attraction, a lot of times when we talk about law of attraction, you think about intentions, setting intentions, right? I've read these books. It's all about, you know, doing the vision board and really, you know, doing these exercises and positive affirmations, correct? And this is exactly how, oh, don't look at that. What it looks like is your brain is letting off these electromagnetic fields. Now here's another really great piece of information to share with you in regard to the mind. I look at our body as 100%, okay? Every single organ, tissue, structure in our body has its own unique electromagnetic field that it broadcasts off. You guys with me on this? So the brain, when you set intention, your brain actually has the weakest electromagnetic field of the entire body. You guys know what the strongest one is? The heart. I knew this crowd was going to know the heart. But let's take the heart out of it, shall we? Because the heart is just another organ, correct? So you have the brain, you have the heart. But what about the liver? What about the kidneys? What about the lungs? What about the digestive tract? What about your lymph system? What about your blood? They all have their own unique electromagnetic field. So if we look at our brains, which is one thing, and everything else, which is 99%, if you're focusing on transformation with only your mind, you're literally shutting down the process by 99%, and you're accessing the weakest electromagnetic field in your body. So, like I said, where's the genie? In your mind, the intention. But the genie does nothing for you unless you access the lamp, which is your body. And when you combine those two together, which is the living connective tissue matrix, which we talked about, then we create our outcome. And it can be positive or negative. Yeah, I didn't notice this, but that's kind of backwards, right? The picture? Yeah. I didn't even notice that till right now. You get the idea, though, correct? So now we're starting to go into the details, shall we? Remember we talked about the signal molecule? One other thing that I want to share with you before we go any further, to the law of attraction. We're here this weekend to create change. And some people may be here to attract a new relationship into their life. Some may be here for job goals. Some people may be here to obtain something else, whatever that may be. Some people may be here for better health. All depends what your intentions are. I'm a doctor. I've been seeing patients, the worst of the worst patients, since 2000. I get great results from them. I love working with human performance. What I'm here to tell you is if you have health compromises and you're not optimizing your human performance, that is inhibiting your health. Because human performance is direct, or the lack of human performance is directly proportional to the lack of health. And you may say, I can't even get out of bed in the morning. I have so much pain, or I'm so tired. And I would challenge you to explore where you are in your human performance. Are you on path with where you want to go in your life? Are you living for other people, or are you living for yourself? Are you ready to be weird, be a weirdo like the rest of us? Because when George was talking about that yesterday, I'm weird to my weirdos. But I know it to be my truth, and I'm committed to it. And what's really cool is, over time, people are like, wow, this is cool, and it makes sense. So there's nothing out there. If I can have 3 internationally selling CDs, and I don't even know how to play music, and I can do a live performance, you guys can do anything. Because you know what I always wanted to be? You know what my transformational statement was? I want to be a rock star. And so we're getting there. Thank you. And so I said, how do I become a rock star? I'm going to be a sound healing rock star. And that's going to even be a better rock star, because I'm going to transcend music. And you know when I talk to professional musicians, you know what they say? Dude, that's cool. Let's talk. And so you just got to open your mouth and express it. So if you're not living at your optimal human performance, it is directly proportional to your lack of health. So you want to get healthy, start with getting real with yourself and getting on path of where you want to be. Now, is there more to that? Yes, and it's outside the scope of this talk, and that's all I'm going to say. So please, I don't mind having that conversation with you after this time, but that's what I want to share with you. Remember we talked about the signal molecule? Let's talk about, what is a molecule? You think about cells, how small a cell is, right? And there's something like 100 trillion cells in our bodies. You know what the cells are made up of? Molecules. And let's just go back to 2nd grade science class, solids, liquids, and gases. Even before that, what's a molecule? Proton, neutron, electrons. Remember that? And the nucleus is a proton and a neutron, and then where are the electrons spinning around it? So what's all the space? When we look at this picture here, this is the nucleus here, and you see all the space between here? These are what they call electron shells. You know what another term for that is? Electron clouds. And what's a cloud? You can fly through a cloud. It's manipulable, correct? So what's cool about this is scientifically proven that every time an electron jumps from shell to shell or from cloud to cloud, you know what happens? It gives off light. It's called photonic emission. That is a scientific fact. So if we consist of 100 trillion cells, and our 100 trillion cells are made up of infinite numbers of molecules constantly giving off photonic emissions, light, here we are. And those so when we're in our spiritual church and we're speaking, we are light, that's not metaphysical, it's real. And so we can control, what controls how these electrons jump? Vibrational resonance and intention. So we can control it. Even though we're not supposed to be control freaks, right? So we have to allow it, or we have to allow this process to happen. So one other thing I want to show you is this is science. This is called Carollian photography, and it's showing the photonic emission of a cell. This here is called GDV testing, and this is GDV testing. Cool. And this is showing photonic emission as this goes. So how do we access the molecular level of our bodies? That's really the question, right? That is what we refer to as rubbing the genie's lamp. And we do it at the molecular level using sound, light, and frequency technology. That's why I use sound, light, and frequency technology. So really quickly, we're about to get started with the rubbing the genie's lamp portion of our process. But I want to go over to you, just the same as you're going to be reading, if you had a multivitamin, you're going to read the ingredients that's in it. I want to give you the ingredients of the Sonicc-ceutical experience. You guys want to know what you're going to be experiencing? So first of all, mathematical ratios. We have the specific mathematical ratio of our living connective tissue matrix. So that is the highway for which we're going to be dictating everything else that we're going to be putting into this process. Sacred geometry. When we were chanting last night, the kirtan, it was sacred geometry. And science has shown that more ancient the sacred geometry, the more it resonates with the body, and the deeper it takes you into deep brainwave states to create change. So I got to tell you, out of all the projects I've ever created, I've juiced up this live performance with more transformational sacred geometry. Anything I could possibly find, it's all in here. for you guys. I figured you'd like that. Bring it, exactly. I knew this was going to be that kind of crowd. Physiological frequencies, we're going to be working with spinal frequencies, specific frequencies of the nervous system to access that part of the body. And then our friend Jason Caroll here is going to be helping me with the advanced music theory, musical modes, tempos, notes, octaves, all these different things. Every single thing that you're going to be experiencing here is for a reason. Nothing is just to sound cool. Well, there's a little bit of sound cooling. I'm a rock star, so we got to make it all sound good, right? But that's been the idea with bioharmonic technologies. How do you use something therapeutic that people like to listen to? Also, we have specific brainwave states in here. I'm going to be taking you onto a journey. We're going to take you into this conscious space where we are now, deep down into the deepest levels of our brainwave state, where we're most accessible to have that deep conversation with our genie. And also therapeutic light. This is a laser, by the way, and we have some sacred geometry, mathematical ratios rather, that are being played through the music that also correspond to the laser. So if any of you get stuck as we go through this, we're going to be able to combine with helping you release blocked parts of your body. And then finally, direct musical input. We see all these instruments we have back here. We're going to be playing specific instruments based off of how you guys are feeling or blocked. Does that sound good? Yeah. So all that's really left now is having the experience. Now let me explain to you how this is going to go, okay? So you guys all have something to write? So first let's take a deep breath in. And just relax. I just gave you guys a lot of left brain information, correct? Thank you. Now we're going to be going into, we can let all that go. Now you understand the components of all this, correct? Now we're going to take you into the process of literally accessing your genie and rubbing that lamp like there's no tomorrow and creating a transformational change. So we're going all right brain at this point. Just to let you know, I do some private sessions. I sell these technologies and I train doctors across the country. If you guys have any interest about that, please just let me know. I have Sonicc-ceuticals available in the back. We could talk about that after this class here. Jason Caroll, everybody. Yeah. All right. But the process that we're going to do, I want to explain it to you. I want you to now close your eyes and just relax. And I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to truly access transformation in your life? Bless you. What does that look like? And before you write that down, I want you to write your transformational genie wish, is basically what we're calling this. Before we write this down, I want you to take a deep breath in and connect with your body. Because that's the lamp, correct? And feel that transformational genie wish. And get clear with it. You might feel where it's blocked. You might feel where it feels good. It's all, there's no wrong here. So now I want you to open up your eyes, pick up your writing utensil, and I want you to write down your transformational genie wish.